Now, the top of the hour on the Progressive Voices channel on TuneIn presents the Green News Report.
The science is clear. Soot pollution is one of the most dangerous forms of air pollution.
EPA cracks down on deadly type of air pollution. January 2024 was the hottest January ever recorded on planet Earth. Plus,
scientists say that climate change is creating hurricanes so strong they're literally off the charts.
Hurricanes are getting so intense, scientists propose a Category 6.
About time. All of those stories and more straight ahead from BradBlog.com. I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
Stand by for 6 minutes of independent green news, politics, analysis, and snarky comment.
These bizarre weather emergencies are just going to keep happening. We all know the cause. Al Gore warned us about this, and it's getting worse every year, so I'll just say it. The witch's curse.
This is your Green News Report. Okay, Desi Doyen, I think the witch's curse had its mitts around us down here in Southern California, but the good news is I think the unceasing rain over the past few days is finally done?
Yes, it appears to be so.
We'll see. What do you got for us today?
Well, despite the United States seeing extreme cold last month, globally, January 2024 was the warmest January ever recorded since record-keeping began in the mid-1800s. That's according to preliminary data from Japan's climate service. If confirmed, this new hottest January marks 9 straight months in a row that have set new record monthly highs. The oceans in January also set a new record, boosted by an exceptionally strong El Nino weather pattern, and that would potentially energize the Atlantic hurricane season later this year.
Potentially.
Both heat records increase the odds that 2024 will surpass 2023 as the hottest year ever recorded. That's due to global warming driven by humanity's burning of fossil fuels.
And the witch's curse.
A new study warns that the Mediterranean Sea is warming at a faster pace than predicted and is also getting more acidic faster than predicted. The oceans absorb a significant amount of humanity's carbon emissions. That causes ocean acidification, called the evil twin of global warming, because too much CO2 literally changes the ocean's chemistry, creating conditions that corrode the shells of marine animals and coral reefs.
So it's not the witches?
No, it's not the witches. It's humanity.
Oh.
This week, a new study proposes adding a Category 6 to the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale to better alert the public to mega storms. The scale currently tops out with an open-ended Category 5 for wind speeds over 157 miles per hour. But the researchers show that a number of tropical cyclones since 2013 had wind speeds faster than 192 miles per hour, meeting their criteria for a Category 6. The researchers warn the Gulf of Mexico is at the highest risk for potential Category 6 mega hurricanes. That's if global temperatures reach 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels.
I'm no climate scientist, but I do recall asking a few of them about 2 or 3 years ago, hey, is it time for a Category 6? Looks like we're going to get a Cat 6.
Maybe. But some good news for victims of disasters. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has a new policy. As areas rebuild after a disaster, FEMA will offer states and communities new funding to install solar panels, heat pumps, and other green upgrades as they repair public structures like schools and hospitals.
Cool. That's one of the things that the Republicans want to turn back as soon as they get into the White House, right?
Yep. And some positive news. The vast majority of Americans living in coastal communities support offshore wind farms. In a survey by Climate Nexus, more than 2/3 of respondents support expanding offshore wind farm construction in their own communities, including a majority of Republicans. That's despite a surge in disinformation campaigns attempting to falsely link whale deaths to offshore wind development that have been spread by right-wing media and organizations backed by the fossil fuel industry.
And Donald Trump.
Finally, great news for everything that breathes.
What?
For the first time in more than a decade, the Biden Environmental Protection Agency this week cracked down on one of the deadliest forms of air pollution, soot. Soot is tiny particles, primarily from the burning of fossil fuels, that can penetrate deep into the lungs and bloodstream, causing heart disease, lung cancer, strokes, dementia, and other chronic illnesses. The EPA says the tighter rules required by law will prevent up to 4,500 premature deaths every year. Industry leaders are expected to challenge the new clean air standards, alleging that they'll harm economic growth. But the EPA says the standards will save $46 billion in public health costs over 10 years.
That is good news. I'm just glad the historic rains are gone from California. For much more on all of these stories and the ones we couldn't get to today, check out our website at greennews.bradblog.com. I'm Brad Friedman.
And I'm Desi Doyen.
And this has been your Green News Report.
Please help Progressive Voices support the Green News Report by stopping by bradblog.com/donate.
PV brings you the best progressive audio and video in one free stream. Stephanie Miller, Tom Hartman, Randy Rhodes, David Packman, Brad Friedman, and more. Search Progressive Voices on the TuneIn app. Download the free Progressive Voices app or go to progressivevoices.com.